Yo, what is good? I am Richie Kim and welcome back to Richie Revs. Today I'm going to be bringing you my video of 5 things that I hate about my M3. You all pretty much know how much I love this car, and you know, I really do love driving this car anytime I can, but you know, that doesn't mean there aren't things that I don't like about the car, and for the most part, you know, these are pretty like nitpicky things that I'm about to tell you, except for maybe a few, but definitely, you know, there are a lot of things I love about the car, but just a few things that I kind of hate or dislike. So first things first is I hate the stock exhaust, and right now I do have the OEM axle back on with the Valvetronic single mid pipe, and I still don't like the sound. You know, after having the full length Valvetronic on for, I don't know, maybe it's been like 4 months now, and then going back to the OEM axle back, the sound is just not there. The sound, overall sound, the tone, the barbels, like everything about it, it just sounds bad. I will say, however, you know, the single mid pipe with the OEM axle bag sounds better than just the full length exhaust, as it should. But yeah, I mean, still the sound is not there, at least for me. I would personally rather have the full length Valvetronic on, which is something that I might actually go back to. I'm still debating, but yeah, the stock exhaust sounds terrible. I don't know if you all could hear while I was just driving right now, but I will also play a couple of sound clips from just like the full length stock exhaust with some like revs, the OEM axle back with the Valvetronic mid pipe. I'll have some like sound clips of that too. But yeah, stock exhaust, OEM axle back, whatever you want to call it, both, you know, full length and just the axle back, I don't like it. It sounds absolutely terrible, and also it looks bad too. Like, look at this. It's a freaking diaper. It really does not look good. It's just a giant muffler. So yeah, stock definitely doesn't look good, and it doesn't sound good either. So another thing that I don't like about this car is the fact that all of the HVAC controls are in this touchscreen. And not just that, but it's like, you know, a lot of things that you would prefer as hard buttons, mainly the HVAC controls, it's in this freaking touchscreen, and that really sucks. Like if you are, you know, driving, it does make it a little bit difficult sometimes to change your climate controls, because you have to go into the screen, right? You gotta touch it, then you gotta look over here, touch some more stuff. There's like all this stuff you have to go through a screen while you're driving, which is, you know, unsafe and just annoying. It's way better if you just have like physical buttons that you kind of know where they are, right? And you just touch it and it's done. So yeah, I mean, having the HVAC controls built into the screen, it does suck. I think the worst part of it though is the fact that you have to go into another tab, which is this tab right here, to change whether you want to circulate the air or, you know, allow the fresh air to come in. Why did they do that? Like, it should have just been like a button that we could touch right here, like somewhere, to alternate between the two. So yeah, I mean, that's another like kind of crappy thing that is, you know, it's very annoying and something that I really hate about the car. Yeah, you do get used to the touchscreen over time. I've definitely gotten used to it a lot more, but it's still really annoying, and having to do this, you know, through the touchscreen really does suck. So another thing I really don't like about the car, which is very, very nitpicky, and it doesn't really pertain to me, I guess, because my previous car was pretty bad on this anyways, is the miles per gallon. Like the fuel efficiency of the car. It's not great, right? Like, I think I'm averaging 19 ever since starting ownership of the car, which obviously includes, driving out to canyons like once or twice a month. No real long road trips or anything. So mainly like city driving, some, I guess like occasional drives into LA, and the canyon driving. So me personally, I don't think it's that bad, but definitely for people who aren't coming from gas guzzlers, or people who aren't coming from, sports cars, or, et cetera, seeing that fuel efficiency of 19 miles per gallon, it's definitely on the low end. But I think, for me, the fact that this car is pushing over 500 and you get 19 miles per gallon is actually pretty damn good. But definitely, I know that some people will definitely be surprised at the fuel efficiency of this car, especially if they're coming from something, less sporty or, more normal, whatever you'd like to call it. Because, out in California, those gas prices be hella expensive. So yeah, I mean, fuel efficiency, for me, it's not a terribly big deal, but it does still kind of suck. Because like I said, gas is expensive out here. I mean, look at this. $5.89 for Supreme, which is 91. It's not even 93. So gas ain't cheap. So one other thing that I don't like about this car, which is kind of a given, and this is definitely not going to be for everyone, but it's the fact that mods for this car are expensive. This is a BMW, and I guess like BMW parts in general are, pricier, but pretty much everything in terms of the modifications for this car is expensive. And I mean, there are definitely ways, you can get cheaper mods, cheaper parts, and you are sacrificing the quality. But I would still say even the cheaper parts for this car are more expensive than parts for another car. Like if you're compared to, I don't know, like a Golf R or a Elantra N or whatever you want to call it, the parts are more expensive than what it would be for those cars. So, when it comes to like aesthetic mods, performance mods, anything like that, yeah, modifications for this car are expensive, and that is just something that you have to deal with. But like I mentioned, not everyone's going to be wanting to mod their car. So this is, one of the things that it's a personal dislike or hate for me. All right, and for the last thing I hate about this car or dislike, it's really just more of an annoyance. If you all have been following me since my ownership of the car, you all will know that I have dealt with a rattling noise, specifically from this, like, I don't know what you want to call this, like sliding door, whatever it is that covers like the cup holders and the wireless charging tray for your phone. But this thing rattles so much, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why it happens. And the worst part is it's inconsistent. So some days it'll happen, some days it won't. So it really does make it hard to kind of track like what exactly is causing the rattle. I actually have a rattle, small, very, very small rattle, coming like right behind the driver's seat as well. I think it's like in that B pillar where the seatbelt is. But yeah, I do have like a small rattle that happens occasionally that's coming from there as well. But yeah, I mean, the interior rattle on this car is very annoying when it does happen. And, if this were an economy car, whatever, $20,000 car, sure, I would understand that there might be some rattles and whatnot. But y'all know this is an M3, right? This is brand new. why the hell does it rattle? This is a $90,000, $100,000 car. It should not be rattling. But yeah, I mean, that's like the last thing. Which is, like I said, you know, most of these are like kind of nitpicky or may only pertain to me. But yeah, I mean, those are the 5 things that I hate about this car, which really aren't that bad. But still, you know, I thought I'd make a video explaining that even though I absolutely do love this vehicle, there are still some things that I wish were better. But that's pretty much it for this video. Those are the 5 things that I hate about my M3. I will be putting out a video about the 5 things I love about this car, as well as, you know, 5 things I hate about the Elantra N. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.